Listen up, this is important information. Before you travel internationally, you will be required to take COVID tests. Those results may or may not be required of you, but please spend the day before your trip trying to arrange a COVID test for a 2-year-old, which means you'll have to go to the hospital because no other location will test a 2-year-old. But go take those tests and then nobody will ask for them. Bon voyage! Packing for a trip and thinking, I'm going to read that book on the first day I'm in Jamaica, then another book the next day, another book, another day, another book. Yay! 5 days, 5 books. Great. Where are you going? Tell me where you're going. Tell me where you're going. Where are you going? Are you going to Jamaica? I'm going to Jamaica. I'm so excited. Hi friends, welcome to my Jamaica vlog. If you're here for beach footage, let's get this out of the way right now. I was in Jamaica for 2 weeks and I only saw the beach from the car. It was not that kind of a trip. We'll do that another time. This visit was primarily to spend time with my family. My parents are there, my brother's there, my brother's children are there. We went for the quality time with the family. We'll do the beach on another visit because we plan to go back. Stay tuned for more of that. But yeah, my mother had been ill for a while. She has clots in her legs. But as soon as we got there, she started getting better, which is wonderful. Not suspicious at all. No, come on. She's been having clots. And here we are waiting for her at a lab to get tested and the results are in. The clot is cleared up in one of her legs. Yay! So she still has to be careful. But it seems the medicine of having her babies home really, really works. I mean, I could see that.
The lady say, you stand up yourself and the clock gone.
Our first week in Jamaica was mostly hanging out with the family, visiting my grandparents' properties. Both of my sets of grandparents have passed away, but the family land is still there. So we visited the property. We looked at the grave sites. I hadn't seen my grandparents' grave in so long, because on recent trips that I've made to Jamaica, I just kind of avoided all of that. But this time I said, we gotta go. And some new ones have been added. Over the last few years, I've lost some family members. And so there are new gravestones in the family plot. And, you just kind of have to pay tribute. Yikes, bummer, but, I guess it is what it is. One of the things that really immediately struck me about the country is the prices. I mean, I had serious sticker shock while visiting the supermarket. The exchange rate is almost $150 to one. That's $1 is equivalent to 150 Jamaican dollars. Yeah. This is me exclaiming over this little box of groceries that I bought. Most of it are just things that my daughter likes to eat. So, I would eat the local broccoli, but she kind of needs things that remind her of home. So, it's broccoli. It says it's imported, but $276 for a serving of broccoli? Come on, come on. Everything costs in the thousands. So, some of it works out to be about the same as it would be the equivalent in the United States, but it's still jarring to walk into like the local KFC and hear people paying $10,000 for a chicken meal. Like, what? I laughed and I exclaimed, and then I walked away and I was like, I can't pay several $1,000s for 2 pieces of chicken, especially when I want a bucket. So it's a good thing my parents cook all the time, because we had delicious home cooked meals. We really didn't need to eat out, just sometimes.
Beautiful. Good girl. Good girl. Bright girl. You know your alphabet.
But another thing that's really striking is the developments. I used to live and work in the community, some of these communities, back when I was in Jamaica. There was this place that I used to work called Junction. And before I started working there, like I remember going there as a child, and back then the square was just a few shops. Now there are several plazas, and the number of people on the streets at any one time is a little overwhelming. I used to work in the bank and we had really long hours. I'd go to work sometimes at 7:30 because our culture in the bank was just arrive really early. We'd have breakfast together and we'd just kind of stay in there all day. We'd work late and I'd be there sometimes until 6-7 o'clock at night. So I'd be at work and I'd kind of not see all the things that were happening outside. But going there now, going back to the square as a visitor, you're a part of the crowd outside. So just seeing everything that's happening on the streets is just staggering, and like I said, a little overwhelming. But yeah. But it's great to see the developments. People are definitely enjoying paying these exorbitant prices for things, or at least that's what it seems. But they have to live. But the other thing that I really enjoyed seeing were windmills. And this is surprising. Windmills. There are 2 huge windmill farms. One is up on the mountains, and my dad drove us to see them up close when we visited his side of the family in Manchester. Say windmill. It's a windmill. Windmill here today. And the other set of windmills is a lot closer to the house where my parents live, and we went to see those at night. And we got even closer, I guess, and it's just like it's sobering being in the presence of something so huge and so powerful, and knowing that these are things that didn't exist here a few years ago. Like, it brought me back to my childhood, because the road, especially the windmill farm that's close to where my parents live, it's a road that I used to travel when I was going to high school, which albeit was several decades ago. But I remember when we were driving on those roads, I remember being a child and driving these roads, and there was absolutely nothing. For a stretch of miles, we'd drive through this place called Chelsea, and it would be nothing. And we'd sit in the school bus and we'd chat, and we'd have to study sometimes. But it was this feeling of calm and peace and serenity, because there was nothing. And to look at it now and see this amazing infrastructure, it's really dazzling to see.
He was considerate to others' feelings. And that's why the servant of the Lord said, when you go 2 by 2, Peter was placed in John. So when Peter started to rail up like bush fire, tangible. He wanted something tangible. But there was something more important.
So yeah, aside from the family and the food and the friends, we did a little reading, emphasis on little. There was a little reading, but nothing like I'd planned. And no regrets. I even did an entire 500-piece jigsaw puzzle in a day and a half because I started it and I wanted to finish it before I left Jamaica. But yeah, that was great. It felt like an accomplishment, but I don't know that I actually accomplished anything because before we left, we put the pieces back into the box. I don't know. And yeah, COVID is still real. It's still rampant. The politics in Jamaica is still a little crippling. There were a few strikes while we were there, which is why our trip got extended. One of those strikes was the air traffic controllers. They went on strike the day we were scheduled to leave Jamaica, so I didn't want to be part of the rush when they were, kind of putting people back on flights, people who had their flights canceled, and I'm assuming there was this big rush to get on the next flight out of Jamaica. I didn't want to be in that, so we postponed our departure from Jamaica for a full week, and that was fine, no complaints. We had a fantastic time, and we hope to do it again soon. And yeah, I hope you'll join me for the next vlog, and until then, happy reading. Bye. That's okay. I'm going to change her clothes anyway.
You want this one?
Because she want to help.
Watch her washing. Oh my word, look at that. She's washing.
The little person want to help her mommy wash clothes.
Same way. Once you finish wash her from head to foot. You do it, yeah.
I could do it. This is my niece. Doesn't she look like me? And here's the pumpkin. She found a cat. Editing this video, I really didn't need to include all of this footage of just scenery and me sitting in the car while my parents drive and we're just like taking in the sights. I didn't need to show you all of this, but I wanted to share with you my love for my country. It's just beautiful to be there, and I hope I captured that. I hope I was able to show you just how much I love my country. It will always be my country. I live in America now, but Jamaica is always going to be home. And being in the car with my parents and my daughter, I don't know, it's just love right there. Come, cousin.
whole month viewing today made the issue an order for the three individuals to be removed from Jamaica after they pleaded guilty to illegal entry. The decision was made despite a plea by the attorney representing the family, Dominic Martin. Last month, the Ministry of National Security rejected an application to grant Mr. Joseph's wife and his sons release.
The baby wants the bottle.